Let me put that properly.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
One, two, three, this one is working. I think you're going to need it for that.
Oh, okay. Let's have a word of prayer before we start. Father in heaven, as we resume this afternoon session, we ask that you will give us wisdom, understanding, be more, well, you are patient, Lord, but give us the ability to surrender ourselves to you. I know that we need to surrender our hearts and our lives and our whole being to you, and at times, well, I know I feel I don't want to. So, Father, have mercy upon us. And please extend your hand of mercy longer so that we can spend that time getting to know you better, but most of all, surrendering ourselves to you so that you can work in us to will and do your good pleasure. So, Father, please, I beg you, where we are hard of heart, please soften them. Where our ears are blocked, unloosen them. Where we don't see, open our eyes. And give us a new hope, a new desire to serve you as might be. In Jesus' name. Amen. Afternoon, everyone. This is going to be a very interesting afternoon because I'm not sure what I'll do next. We need to get the slides up. Now,
Which one?
that one.
This one?
That one.
Yeah.
Now, I know I stopped here this morning. There was much more to go. There's much more to go, and I believe that we need to
No. Okay, this one, sorry.
Okay, it was a fast and furious session this morning. I thought I was going slower, and I thought I had not offended. But I didn't want to scare anyone. And this afternoon I'll sort of go through continuation of what we looked at this morning, but trying to make it more realistic for us. Probably there's a part that the children may want to come in because obviously that bit they want to come in for. And that's why I stopped it because I realised they were children. But I've gone through this week looking at newspaper articles. Some of them were so horrific I could not put them up. I showed my wife a few of them. After the second one, she says, "Don't show me anymore," because it was that bad. One of them, woman ran the bar for her 4-year-old daughter, put her in the water, strangled her, took her outside on the table and burnt it. She said she believed she was a fallen. But what she actually said after that was the most horrific. She others, I mean, that one is horrific. The others are bordering even worse than that. But I put up this one because this is an interesting thing. It's his daughter to keep the faith. I don't know who this guy is. Anton LaVey. But his daughter is now continuing the Church of Satan. Does anyone know where the Church of Satan is in the UK?
Where it is?
Milton Keynes, yeah, located, yeah.
Really?
It's one in Newbold, isn't it? I heard it was one in Newbold. Milton Keynes is the one I know about, and there's quite a few things in Milton Keynes. Which one day, I will actually do a presentation on Milton Which one? The UK. The actual parks, and there's even a tree cathedral, which I've taken a look. There's like it's a wonderful. I say wonderful. I mean it's more wonderful as in wondering about why they would do something like that. But I'm looking for that. So you can see the hand sign with the horn. You know that hand sign?
Yeah.
You will see that come up a lot today because I want to show you who you do not believe will be doing it. Yeah. So now the reason I'm putting these up here is very random news articles. But I keep wondering why are they so random, and why are these news articles placed in the way that they are? Now, anyone knows what happened this week with this guy?
Yeah.
He's been sent to prison. This guy here, Mr. Cohen, he was the lawyer for Donald Trump. Now, when Trump took out, didn't he? Play on words, he did. He is actually the lawyer, and he paid some hush money to lots of people for Trump, and then he got accused of wrongdoing, and now he's going to serve time. Trump, yeah. Trump says, I have no knowledge of it. So this is what is in the news article. So I'm thinking, okay, this is to keep our eyes focused on Trump. Have you not noticed that there's not a week that goes by when Trump is not in the news?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I think it's a distraction.
That's
really fun.
Yes. There's some I couldn't get on the just in Europe. Did you know that?
Yeah.
All that's happening behind the scenes, but we're seeing stuff like this. I was now coming into that. The Guardian newspaper, we're not going to little nitty bitties, we're going to big ones. So the Guardian newspaper is warning of storm clouds gathering for a next financial crisis. What's that picture there, sorry?
It's building in central London.
That's
Canary Wharf.
Mike, you know where that is?
Number 1.
Sorry? Canary Wharf, yeah.
Number 1.
And that building there is the
Financial center.
It's a pyramid.
the Citibank. But that building has what you not notice that's a signal picture.
As a pyramid.
The pyramid, yes. And on top of the pyramid normally Freemasonry movement.
Yeah.
Right? So this picture, a signal picture telling the guys, we're going to cause a financial crisis. What will be coming? I told my wife this already. And I'm going to try and get myself ready. This one is going to be bigger in 2008. No, I'm not a prophet, but I know this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get ready. Next one. Now, this is a very interesting story. Not great regarding it. The Sweden is suspending funds to the UN AIDS agency because the UN is actually a kind of a very corrupt organization. They go to places where people are in need. What they do, they misuse the women. Peacekeepers in the UN, women in that community, most of them have to sell themselves to get food. So when they're doing sort of aid agency, let's say like there's a hurricane and they go to Haiti. When they go to Haiti, those poor women have to sell themselves to get food. Expert eyes. But I thought it was a very interesting one as well. Now, anyone recognize this place? The inside. Anyone?
No.
And that's a house. They're looking out the door. Well, the bombed out section of the this is going on because the rebels trying to retake trying to
get rid of him.
If they wanted to get rid of him, because Gaddafi was doing something, you know what Gaddafi was doing?
Mm-hmm.
They were a currency for Africa in just gold that would undermine the dollar and the pound. Gaddafi had to go. It wasn't even weeks, it was days even, isn't it? I have to put this one in. This is becoming more apparent, actually. Cannibal walks into police station holding a human leg and says he is tired of eating human flesh. found, they reckon he must have eaten over 900 people.
Is that where is it?
Russia.
This one
This one is in South Africa.
But they had a case here, it was the jails where this guy was eating
So cannibalism. Because I want you to realize when the thoughts of the hearts were only evil continually, it's almost like we've gone past. So what else will we see? I'm going to flip past this one quickly. Now, this one was interesting. Facts in the mirror having that kind of three signs that biblical prophecies about the end world is coming through. Now, do you know what they use for that? The birth of a heifer was one. There's so many. The Jews have this prophecy that when a red heifer, a red female cow is born at a certain time, completely red, without blemish, it shows the prophecy of the Messiah is coming. Which Messiah are you looking for? In Native America, in America, the Native Americans have a prophecy about the white buffalo. One of those that we born as well. So what Satan is doing, he's setting falling for it. I thought it was very interesting. Now here's one that I expect he do. He made lived in by who? Palestinians. So that's now given Israel the green light to go and kill off all the Palestinians in that. Because you know what's happening? Trump is being backed by the, you could call it evangelical right wings who believe restored, and you have the Third World War that will bring everything called, well, they believe it's Armageddon, but we know that's what it is. So this is what the world is being set up for in the behind the scenes. And we as Seventh Day Adventists know what the true prophecies are, but we're keeping it to ourselves. We're going to be in trouble if we're not careful. Right. I thought I'd put that up because to me, this sums up a summary of what I looked at. I didn't want to put up the other stuff. And my wife said to me, you can't. She said, it was horrific. I don't want to talk about it. But it says, and every imagination of the thoughts of his heart, he will continually. Now, I was listening to some of the guys that were talking, and I know I joked this morning about the things that they say, but they're not kidding. I mean, not this workplace I'm working about. I came home and I straight away, didn't I? Remember the topping up ceremony when they decided they went to the hotel, they called the doorkeeper and says, "You would like some prostitutes?" He said, "Don't worry, how many do you want? You want 12? Again, yeah. And they wanted me to come to this party. I said, "No, thank you." And they said, I said, "I'm married." He said, "What's the matter? What's the matter? Your wife isn't anymore." And we are in these kind of environments as Seventh-day Adventist Christians, trying to live a life to follow the Lord. And you know what happens if you don't join in? You are now seen as a you don't get the pay rises, yeah? But we have to stand. And the women get pressured by bosses after sex. And now most women won't tell their husbands that, but it does happen. I've watched it. I worked for Crossrail 4 years, and I worked quite closely with one of the directors, named not to be mentioned. He wasn't that way inclined, but some of the guys under him were that way inclined. I was talking about the heart. Now, what we're going to think about is going forward in the time of trouble to come, how it's going to come upon us. Most of us don't have a clue yet. I'll tell you why. so is he. With my thoughts. And for some reason, even though I spend a lot of time in scripture, I have trouble to keep my mind focused on God. So I just to myself, well, I spend an average of, 2 hours, 3 hours listening to the Bible, and maybe another hour or two in family worship, right? Now, I'm not saying it to brag, I'm just saying that's 24 hours in a day, that's only 5 hours. If we don't have family worship, what is our mind doing? How are we preparing our mind in the mornings? Well, I'm begging you. If you don't have family worship in the mornings, you are leaving yourself in a drought-like state. So you leave home without protection. It's like saying you're going into a battle to fight the enemy, but I'm not going to wear any armor. I'm not going to carry a shield. I'm not carrying no ammunition. I'm just going to the battle. Which soldier does that? No one does. But if we keep doing it, we will be in trouble. That's what we're doing. And Jesus says in Matthew 9, a misunderstanding of what the heart is. They think it's the pumping organ here. But we know it's this one here, really. Now, the 6 main parts is described here as the frontal lobe, parietal lobe, cerebrum, and the temporal lobe. But the 7th part of the brain, that we do not actually see. Mind, or the spiritual aspect of the mind. Now, the interesting thing about the frontal lobe, most people think it's only this section here. If you look at the brain, the brain. Thank you. Or minds, he can do anything he wants with us. So, in my mind, when I start thinking about what Christ is asking us to do, I like this text. For who have known the mind of the Lord that he may. That text is like, Paul is bold. How can he say that? Paul could say it because he knew there was nothing in his life that separated him from God. Now, my question is there anything in our lives that will separate us from God? And to me, it's a hard one because I'm thinking about myself. I'm thinking, Lord, and I remember that parable. One thing that I lack is one thing. I'm battling with it. Take away these. What is that peace of God? Remember that thing, great that love thy law and nothing. Do we get offended easily? Do we argue all the time? Do we have a fretful spirit? I want to think very carefully because these things are damaging to us. Last but not least, I love this text in 2 Corinthians 10 because it's one of the things we've got to do. We've got to learn to control our own thoughts. I'm not sure about you. Have you ever been told or taught how to do that? When you in Bible study, I'm at home, I'm preparing to do like a presentation today, I'm there, and all of a sudden a song from thought about, boom, jumps into your head. A Michael Jackson song. Oh no, Lord have mercy. And it plays. The whole thing plays, the scene where you were sitting down, who you were talking to. It's playing in your head, and you go, oh man. And you're trying to concentrate, right? What do? Do we go, oh, that was a nice time, wasn't it? And start singing the song along in your mind. Most of us do that. Yeah? Because that's Satan's trap. Then you catch yourself. When you catch yourself, what do you do next? You say, oh Lord, have mercy on me. Or you go, never mind, there's like that one song. From that, you start going down. Am I not right here? I'm telling you something because I want to talk to us because I want us to understand I'm not immune from the same things that we all go through, but how we deal with it now. My thoughts are this: when that thing happens and that reminiscent thought process starts to click in your mind, and you are hearing whatever song, whatever movie it is, I say, right, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me for a few times. That one isn't working. Okay, next text. Next text. Or you find that is very spiritual, you know. Jesus to walk with me, I played it earlier, that's one of my favorites. There are a few that I do, and every time I sing those songs, it overrides.
Yeah, I have an experience like that actually.
Yes.
The song in my head, I'm like, it's the Sabbath. Why is this in my head?
Because
And I'm just saying, I am thine, O Lord, and I override it with that one.
that's
And it just went.
yes, we have to. So we've got to learn to bring into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. But it's every time.
Yeah.
Sometimes we let one in or two.
Yeah.
And before you know it, by the time you get to Wednesday after Sabbath, you're like, oh man, Lord have mercy on me, I've done that. And you never plan it, you know. Never plan it, but this is what happens. So I'm going to really help us to sort of equip our minds in how we battle. So each time you come up to a situation, or some of the young ones, you're out with your mates in school or wherever you are, and they go, oh man, check out this new thing. Shh, on video. And then when you get home, you got your phone in your room, and you can just relax and just play the Box 10. That doesn't know. And if you think they're coming, zap the history. Let me put on some Neville Peter nice songs. Oh, there you go. That's what I've been watching on me, Nelly. We're in the same boat. We're in the same boat, yeah?
Romans 12:21. Stay away from people.
Yes, sir.
I think the other thing is when Sabbath comes, say Friday evening, then we are at the Sabbath. Come this evening when you see what we are watching on TV throughout the week.
Yes.
So
I
then we are beginning on Sabbath to push that out.
You are very correct. And I'm leading on to that, you know. But I have come to the conclusion that a Seventh-day Adventist right? And the day, sorry, no, I'm popping it up. You can't find this. Converted Christian man. The dynamite. Came at the top and landed a few yards away. And that's why he carried it around with him. He was not unconscious. But something had changed. Because when the doctor got there, they said the whole of the section of his frontal lobe here flopped out on the ground. And he was in the hospital for months. Now, this is what it says in the internet. Trained in the schools, he possessed a well-balanced mind and was looked on by those who knew him as a shrewd, smart businessman, very energetic and persistent in regard. In this regard, his mind was radically changed so decidedly that his that is what the devil wants to do with our frontal lobes. The games, the movies, the music. It changes our frontal lobe. And if that was an example of what it does, he can't take the frontal lobe out for everyone like that. But it says popular reports of Gage often depicted him as a hard-working, pleasant man for the accident. Post-accident, these reports describe him as a changed man, suggesting that the injury had transformed him into a slurry, aggressive drunkard, or another drug. The family, and he loved his children. After that accident, after he recovered, he went out being debaucherous, having many women, and died in the circus of all places. Sad, isn't it? Would you want it to be you? Here, they're up to now, they're still doing researches in this guy's brain. And I found it amazing. It said 11% of the white matter of his frontal lobe and 4% of the cerebral cortex. So it's saying, I like what it says here though. It says both left and right peripheral. This result in problems with emotional processing and rational decision making. Scientists are only finding that out, and Ellen White knew about this a long time ago. Or transformed. Interesting. Most of the stuff we have around at the moment in our society, here. Symbolism is the language of the mysteries. What is the mystery religion of an Illuminati? It says, by symbols men have ever sought to communicate to each other these thoughts which transcend the limitation of languages. So in other words, symbols and signs will be used to program, breaking it down simply, to program the mind so that you will be doing things that they want you to do without your knowledge. So with that being said, let's move on. So, fashion guru or slave. Now, Ellen White also says, I remember when that fashion will be the greatest problem for the church. I was quite surprised when she said that. As Christians, does fashion affect how we think or what we do? That's a question for everyone. What do you reckon? How many of you say this? I know. Because without realizing it, to you, the hair, the height, how your shoes, to how you wear your pants.
Did you want that quotation? I've got it.
Go on.
It says, a strong testimony to church volume 4. It says, obedience to fashion is pervading our seventh-day more than any other power to separate our people from God.
Yes. Amen. Thank you. A lot, but and also he showed you him to be a gigolo. What's a gigolo? A guy who has got lots of girls. Now that's cool nowadays, isn't it? Back in that day, men had to be with their women, their wives, and look after the children. Nowadays it's like, because it's become norm to have more than one girlfriend. I went for my uncle's funeral 4 weeks ago, Barbados, and I met a bunch of guys who made me sad. I was talking to them about fidelity and being married to my wife, and they laughed. They said, "You're married?" They said, "Are you stupid? I can't afford to get married." I said, "Why?" "Because I've got too many women to deal with." And they blatantly told me that they don't feel comfortable having less than 2 women. They said they can go up to more than, 5, 6, or 7, but 2 at any one time is good for them. And I was a fool for having a wife and children. That's what they told me. Now, Richard Gere did something else in this film. Paul Schrader, remember, he likes to mess with our heads. He says, think a kind of gay thing that's flirting through it, and I didn't know the gay community at all. So what he did, I wanted to immerse myself in it all so that I had literally 2 weeks, so I just dove in. So what did he do? To make the film, what did he do? He became gay. How do you learn about gays? He became gay. Make the film. But we don't understand when they're making films, they do things in the film that you think is just acting, but they have to find out about the character. So if the character act, they have to go into character, which means they have to go into the whole theme of doing things. Now, something else about him. He became a sex symbol, became very popular, but he won a lot of different awards, right? There's some of them there. But guess what? Guess what he was really in disguise? He was a Buddhist. He was a Zen Buddhist. So he mixed his belief systems, placed it on the screen in front of you, and guess what happened not long after he became a Buddhist? A lot of people in Hollywood became Buddhists. Tina Turner is a Buddhist, and many others. Don't even talk about Oprah Winfrey. We're moving on very quickly. He wrote, this Paul Schrader wrote the film play, The Last Temptation of Christ, where he depicts Jesus Christ as struggling with various forms of temptation, including doubt, fear, depression, reluctance, and lust. Is that my Jesus? That ain't my Jesus. I didn't read it in the Bible. It says here, this result in the book and film depicting Christ being tempted by imagining himself engaged in sin. Spider-Man. Oh yes, he played Spider-Man. Right? Ooh, shock horror. Remember, he played Jesus. He was character acting as Jesus. Now, he's going to character acting Spider-Man. But what is his character? Green Goblin. What's a goblin? Goblin is a demon. Exactly. So 1 minute he can play Christ, and the next minute he can play demon. This is Paul Schrader for you, yeah? He's writing for the different, yeah? He's the demon. He can do all parts. Goblin is a legendary evil creature, grotesque and evil in form. They're also said to have magical abilities, yeah? Magical abilities, yeah? Various types. No, that's funny, isn't it? That is funny, isn't it? That's hilarious. I can remember that coming on the television as a children's program, actually. The Witch Got Back. No, I'm saying it's funny because if you saw how she was portrayed on the television thing, it made her look like someone you want to have around your house to laugh with. Yeah? So they made witches, what's the word again? Ooh, acceptable. Maybe a bit before your time, this one. But that led to something else happening. And we know about witchcraft. The Bible teaches against witchcraft. And we've got to be careful of witchcraft in all of its forms, right? You with me? That means even watching it, yeah? Because by watching it, you vicariously partake in witchcraft. So, this tells you, there should not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or daughter to pass through the fire, to use divination or observers of time, or enchanter or witch. Now, when I say that,
That just cuts out all Hollywood films straight away. You know why, don't you? Let's have a look. Oh, the list continues. Charmer, consultant, the familiar spirits, wizard, or necromancer. Now, we know what happened to King Saul for consulting with familiar spirits, don't we?
Yeah.
The probation was closed. 1 Samuel 28. But nowadays, we go beyond that, don't we? We make excuses why we do things.
Sure.
It says here, and as Isaiah said before you, except the Lord of Sabbath had left us a seed, we had been as Sodom and had been like unto Gomorrah. And they say, how can that be for the children of Israel? Now let's get this. We can't say that, because it's right in our roots.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you know about kinship.
What?
Kinship.
King.
Kinship. Google kinship. Seventh-day Adventist Church.
The gay community.
It's a gay church. It's a gay denomination within the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
But are they recognized by the GC? I'm not sure.
The GC says pastors there, my brother.
And pastors.
It's amazing. Now, one of the other things that he played in and what he did is this.
Really?
David Bowie played Pilate in that film. The Last Temptation of Christ. I'm using one movie to highlight things. Now, who's David Bowie? Anyone who knows David Bowie is? He died recently, yeah? About 2 years ago. No, was it last year? Now, he was dead last year. Now, he did a lot of things, yeah? But one thing about David Bowie, he declared himself gay in 1972 when he played a part called Ziggy Stardust. But something about him must have gone. He says it's true. I am bisexual. And he goes on to say, I can't deny that I've used that fact very well. I suppose it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And according to his first wife, Angie, Bowie had a relationship with who? Mick Jagger. So all these guys who are out there making music and popularizing music, there's an agenda. So when we notice that these guys are in the news or in the media, the people who come after them, guess what has to happen?
Follow suit.
They have to follow in the same footsteps. There's a theory in Hollywood, and my brother actually, my younger brother, made me know about this thing a long time ago, Paul. He was a male model. I didn't get the looks. And he used to model, and he told me he had to give it up. You want to hear something? Because the guys kept hitting on him. So he got fed up one day and punched one of the guys. That's it. No more modeling agency. Because he punched one of these hyenas. Now, Bowie using this and what does that say?
Arcane books.
Arcane books on witchcraft, white magic and its malevolent counterpart, black magic as rough guides to his own rapid fragmenting psyche. Bowie began drawing protective pentagrams on every service. But I asked you a question, what happened to him? Remember, he played the part of Jesus Christ in the Last Temptation of Christ. Now, sometimes a so-called Christian movie comes out, hey, it's about Jesus, let's go watch that film. Who are the stars? Ta-da. My word. We'll jump over him because I don't know much more about him now. We know about pentagrams, don't we? Anyone know about pentagrams? It says here a standard symbol for witches, Freemason, and many other pagan unknown groups. To witches, it represents the four basic elements: rain, water, earth, fire. Plus a pantheistic spiritual being such as Gaia or Earth Mother. Right. So there's a lot in there. Yeah. New Age symbols. Whenever you see this one here is the goat of Mendes, which is really, if you look at it, it's like a goat upside down instead of a pentagram, right? Children's programs. did they do to the children?
Programming.
What did he talk about Mandy Hall at the beginning? What did he say? Symbols has a more powerful way to get into you the message they want you to get, isn't it? So, we're going to start with our children. I know this has been around, you see this a lot through this program. This is the star, this is the moon, this is the sun, yeah! Yeah? It's true, isn't it? And this nice little music, yeah? There you go, pentagram, here's a star. Right. Circle, root rings. Now, forgive me, my universal symbol of unity, wholeness, infinity, and the goddess and female power. It's here, the earth-centered religion through history, as well as the many contemporaries, it represents the feminine spirit or force. Now, question, where have you heard that word force? Force, boys? May the force be with you. Yeah? Force. They go, oh no. That is where it comes from. You know, the force is very interesting. We're coming on this time, but not this time though, because I had to cut out a lot of stuff. Gnostic traditions linked the unbroken circle to the world serpent, forming a circle as it eats its own tail. Now, I'm not going to go through all the very, because I've done a lot on circle worship, and sometimes this morning we did it, and I couldn't hold hands in a circle. And I explained to you why. I'm not saying they did it on purpose. When I was involved in the esoteric religions, one of the ways of channeling was to join in a circle and hold hands. And I feel very uncomfortable doing it in a Christian setting. Because I don't believe that's how the early church did it. I believe we've adopted it without realizing it. Because I'll tell you why. In 1997, I was in a course. I told my wife about this course. I was in a manager's course. You know my age, my old dude. And I was asked to be a manager coach for my team. So the first thing we did, we got to the room. Hello everyone, my name is Monica. And got all in a circle holding hands. I've been here before, right? Right, I want you to just hold hands and think positive thoughts. I said, I ain't doing that. This is at 9 o'clock in the day. By 12 o'clock, me and this young lady was having serious arguments. Because as she walked in the room, the Holy Spirit says, witch. And I had a conversation with her. She said she was a metaphysical individual who was trying to teach the managers how to control the staff. Control. Then she did some demonstrations. She got us to, and she goes, I can't use you, she said. So she would never use me in the demonstrations. Got the whole 20 of us in a circle, holding hands. She says, she stepped in the middle. She called someone out. Relate the circle, please. Place him there. I'm going to make you the strongest person in this room. And she goes, come on, think positive thoughts. And everyone said, what are they doing? And I'm not. I just sat back there in my chair and watched them. And she says, right, I want him to go out the room. And I want to remember this. He's going to be really strong because he thought positive thoughts. He came back in the room. She got one of the biggest guys in the room, asked him to put his hand out, and no one could move his hand down. She goes, right, go out the room again. And as he went out the room, she put them all in a circle. She says, I want you to think of him as being very weak. But channel your thoughts through me. And everyone stood in the circle. I was there, I watched it with my own two eyes. The same guy came in, put his arm out. She got the little girl, not the young lady about his size, and she put his hand down with one finger. And when I saw that, I went, I will no longer hold hands in a circle. Not because that the people in the church is doing that. I've had many issues and circumstances and interaction with circle worship. The other one I had was actually in the church. A person had an issue and they wanted to have the person exorcised. It was Sunday church, Pentecostal. So what they did, they asked us to get in a circle, and they drew a big circle on the ground. I said, don't step in the circle. I was like, hey, dude, I recognize this. They held hands in a circle. Next thing you know, they brought 5 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I'm out of here. Because you know what they did? A pentagram. And then they started praying. I was out of there so quick. Because I was not too long delivered from the demons I had from before. And I'm coming to church to do the same thing. So don't take it the wrong way. I always tell everyone, if you see me, my wife knows me, if they haven't it, I say, I'm very sorry. I can't. I know you mean well. I know you don't understand the history behind the circle worship. But because this is actually from in the Native American traditions, it forms the basic pattern of the medicine wheel. Like, even that alone, I can spend 2 hours going through that. Because I study Native American customs as well. That's part of my journey. Yes, sir. Very similar. Not the same, but similar. Dreamcatcher, you're going into a completely different round here. You're talking more Aboriginal dream time. Yes, sir.
As we on circles, what about the habit that we got from the Catholic Church pertaining to the wedding bands that we as Adventists wear? Is that similar?
My dear patient, Dad, I thank you for opening your mouth. That accent. Make me want to get on a plane right now. I want to go back to Barbados, man. I was there 4 weeks ago. I know you're right. We as a church have adopted, it wasn't just Catholic, it was taken from the Vestal Virgins of Rome. When they married to the sun god. The golden band was a golden ring to the sun. When you place that ring on your finger, you were married to Zeus for the rest of your life. And they were virgins forever. And if any one of them were caught not being a virgin, she was killed, she was burned actually. I went to Rome and I saw the Vestal Virgins place. So you're right, we shouldn't be doing that. But because of custom.
I was going to say, what was another perspective of the wedding band that it's also serpent worship as well, because it's a serpent
Catching its
tail.
tail. Yeah. That's the other aspect. I mean, I've looked at it from Egypt. It's there as well. Yeah? It's in India. You can go through the cultures of the world. It's there, but for some reason we've adopted it. There are many of us who've done it unknowingly. God makes it ignorance. I'm just here to highlight it, but you're 100% correct. I wasn't meant to touch that one. I was going to leave it for someone else to touch it, but you
There's a question.
Yes.
About that dream catcher, we made one of them at school.
What?
We made one of them in primary school. It's in primary school.
Okay, you just opened a can of worms. Dream catching. I'm not sure what should go in this rabbit hole. So what did you do? Come.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I like co-presenting. Explain to us what you did. What did you do?
All I can remember is we were in primary school and then we had this lesson and we were just talking about the Native Americans and about this dream catching, like something like catches bad dreams or something, and then you just put it up on top of your bed, and then we got some string and something like did some design, and then
Was it an animal or really type they could do?
no, I think it was something like a star or
Yeah,
something.
it's a star.
And a star fish.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Someone once sent me one and it had, she made one for me, I don't know why, it sent it to me in the post, and it had the lizards hanging down from it. When you talk about animals, you don't like
Yeah.
that makes any sense.
It does. Oh dear. You're going to take me down a different path. I'm going to try and stay on track.
Okay.
That one alone, you could spend 2 hours on because you have to link it to the Native Americans, the Mayans, as well as the Aboriginals. Yeah? There are some Wudon as well from Africa. And I was involved in something like that, but I don't want to go into that now. Well, it's the Gaia worship. It's earth worship. Native Americans were big in Gaia worship because if you notice, a lot of them burn the dead off the ground because they don't want to desecrate Earth Mother. The same way the cross was used to kill and hang people on because it was out of Gaia worship. It wasn't the Romans did it, the Germanic tribes had it first. And they would kill the person, leave them on there, and the animals would come to eat the bones and the flesh, so the earth wasn't desecrated by the dead.
Also, I noticed in India, I think, I mean, I don't know if it's Hindu, but
Hindu,
there's certain sects where they literally, the way of disposing of burying the dead is to put them on the roofs of houses, and the vultures come to eat them.
That's Hinduism, isn't it? But most Hindus like to burn them and put the ashes in the Ganges, because the Ganges is also meant to be a goddess. We kind of. But yeah, you guys are testing me out today. Praise the Lord. Oh, 7. I thought I'd put in a picture of circle worship. We a few, didn't we? I think I began a microsource. We were, is it Camberwell Park last year, summer? What were they doing here, Mike? Come on, tell us. You saw it with your own 2 eyes.
They were doing some sort of like yoga
How are they doing it?
in the circle. They were doing it in the circle. This woman was leading it.
Well, so how were they doing it though? I can't remember. They were chanting, remember?
Or they were saying something. I don't know.
They were chanting in a circle in the park. Now this is something that we were going out for a nice afternoon ride, and we bought some of the buses. So I thought that the children, wow, this is first-hand experience. They can see this stuff. And little voices to me, you shouldn't let them see this. But I'm glad they see it. Now this is what normally happens. They get in a circle, they sit in a circle, everything's done in a circle. Now, something I want to show you, I'm not sure if I put it on this one. I'm running out of time. Right. Anyone recognize that?
Hot cross bun.
Hot cross buns. Yes, you're right.
Easter.
Ishtar. There are things that are done. This is an old pagan cross, but because we have lost track of the English Druidic system, the Picts were very much into Druidism, but they also have this issue of earth worship, goddess worship. Now this is a symbol of Gaia, or in the Near East, Ishtar, Easter Day. So we have our buns that we make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, Jeremiah 44. Looks like that, doesn't it? Hot cross buns. Ishtar worship. I'm not saying you don't eat the buns, you know. I'm just saying that's where it comes from. This is a quote from Jeremiah 7:18. Children gathered wood and the fathers came to the fire. The women needed a dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven. Now, what happened to the children of Israel when they were going through Judah, when they were going through issues? They decided that the Queen of Heaven was the best person to worship. And when Jeremiah told them off for doing it, they said, well, when we were worshiping her, everything was fine. You can read it in Jeremiah 44. Not long after that, unfortunately, they didn't listen to the warnings and they were killed. Now, the triangle is a purely feminine symbol. I'm not, yes sir.
I just wanted to, before we move on from the picture or 2 slides ago, because I'm thinking we should also be conscious that some things are done for reason, and we need to learn that, which is what we're doing for the young people. But also some things are done for convenience, because I'm thinking if that this flat.
Oh, I'm not talking about this. Not, please. It's I'll make one thing clear. I'm not talking about seating arrangements. I'm not talking about how we do things. I am talking about if you are entering into a sphere that anyone has actually done something like that already. I'll use an example. Building design. You and I may not understand to the degree that there's no building that has not been thought about. Doorways, the height of the windows, the floor, And when you look at the older buildings, you'll see specific proportions. Look at the British Museum. You see columns, certain amount, certain height. You see capitals and bases, certain height. Now, I know where you're coming from. I'm not going to go overboard and say everything is evil and bad. Just let me make one thing straight. I'm saying, I'm letting you know historically where certain things come from. And if we do it as a custom within a worship setting, then we are going to be in trouble because thou shalt have no other God before me. That's all I'm putting out there. I'm very much aware because I've done a few talks and I've had some very interesting exchanges. Some pleasant, some really unpleasant. But no, I'm not saying don't arrange the church in a semicircle because you're halfway doing a circle. No. I'm not saying that at all. So I do understand what you're saying. Convenience? No. Triangles. I'm putting this out there because my wife can tell you, when she first met me, I was an Egyptologist. I had Egypt all over me, didn't I? I drank, sleep, breathed Egypt. I got to the stage where I was meant to go to Egypt. And I told her I couldn't go. You know why? If I went to Egypt, I'll come back like a pharaoh. I believe that there was a spirit within that system that was drawing me to decorate my house like an Egyptian pharaoh's tomb or an Egyptian palace. I was so, remember? And I said to her, why are you going to pray for me? Because my head is full of this stuff. It was coming out of my business. And I realized that the symbols implant messages that we don't really understand. And that's what I'm really trying to get across to us, yeah? With young minds, they get molded very easy as well. So nowadays, you go to a young guy and you talk to him about sexism. They will say, oh, you can't say something because it's sexist. Now, back in the day when I was a man, that's a manhole. Wasn't a person home, wasn't an access chamber, it was a manhole. But nowadays, oh no. It has to be gender neutral. True, isn't it? Yeah, laughing, it's true, isn't it? You get told it all the time. And these are not male toilets, these are just toilets. Yeah? True, isn't it? Now, the reason I brought this up is because we've got issues with deity worship of the female. There's a lot to go through because I want you to realize that anyone recognize this? The bit on the top. Ah, yes, it is. Sanskrit. It's what the in Roman Catholic churches. You know when they're having the communion, they put the wafer in, yeah. So it comes from. Now, we had a person we did prison visits with once, and the Catholics were taking the prison visit that time. We were joining the service. The Seventh-day Adventist brother took communion from a Roman Catholic priest and said it was okay. Remember that? Clearly. Yeah. Yeah, all things all because he wanted to bend them. Did he bend the Roman Catholic priest? We're not going to talk about what happened. He called it a Sanskrit, but this is more of a, I would like to put it as mother, womb, and child. This is the womb of the mother. This is the goddess Hathor. She's meant to be the one who would be the birth mother of the gods. But we're not going to go into it in that detail. This bit here is meant to be the sun going into the moon. So into the moon. So sun, moon, Baal Hadad. You've also got the womb, mother and child. So you've got that there as well. When you see these symbols, they're always esoteric and they're always leading you towards worshipping female deities. Now, the Roman Catholic Church has done a very interesting thing with it, as my brother mentioned, because as you take that wafer out of the womb and you eat it, they tell you that this is Christ's body, literally. And in some cases, something miraculously happens on his flesh and the rest of mouth. I've seen that too. We've seen it, really? I know it's not nice. But the reason I brought this up is because this worship comes up a lot, and it would be something that you guys will be fighting with. In the male form, it's called the aphis bull, right? And you know who I'm talking about here, because if you watch football, or American football, you will look at the symbols behind the teams. And there's a very popular basketball team called the Chicago Bulls. Who do you think they're worshiping? Anyway. Aphis bull was sacred in Egypt, but it also has its roots in Hinduism. So it hasn't gone away. The old Hindu priests that we see today are the old Egyptian priests. And we went to the British Museum, Michael, did we go? And we saw, it was very interesting. You could see the garb of the old Egyptian priests mirrors what the Hindus were today. It's unbelievable. I was like, wow. Too many pictures though. Oh, sorry. But the one thing about this bull which is very interesting, because the Egyptians believed that the bull was the car of Osiris. Now, we're going to say, what are you talking about? Let me just make it biblical. Osiris is another word for Tammuz in the Bible. Yeah? Ezekiel 8:14. So when you start looking at this stuff, you're going to say, this has nothing to do with me. But it will do eventually. Because when they made the golden calf, it was the same thing. Oh, sorry, jumping ahead. When they made the golden calf, same thing. Now, I'm going to flash some symbols before you because I want you to recognize something. The reason why I put that up there, because that symbol with the bull, yeah, also has another meaning. Because it also represents something else. Also represents, in some cases, the eye of Horus. Yeah? Cyrus. And nowadays, it's become very fashionable for the music and film stars to do this. Cover one eye. If you cover the left eye, it's Osiris. If you cover the right eye, it's... Sorry? Ra. Okay, got it? But there's a big, massive drive for everyone to be covering one eye. I always find it strange. I have Horus. Symbolism. Now, you and I may not notice it, but the subconscious mind records it. If you get certain symbols in a pattern, you start getting messages. You start behaving in a way that you don't understand if you're not covered by the blood of Jesus Christ. We've got to be very careful that we allow ourselves to be, what's this? Avoid the very appearance of evil. Talked about it earlier. So the films that we're watching, a lot of these messages are hidden in the films. I haven't even got half the stuff, in here. I'm just giving you an overview. Oh, I can't play this one. Because it's not linked. These are videos I have that tells you, she says, I have something. This is taken from the video Dark Horse. This is about cannibalism and necromancy. Right? This song that was so popular, how many years, 3 years ago, 4 years ago? That was what it was about. She sang about that, and she shows you a part of the video. The guy turns into blood as he drinks from the glass. As the guy turns into blood, or something like that. He doesn't. I watched it. Should I see why I watched it? The kids were freaking out on it. And I thought, there's got to be something to this music. So I sat there, watched, analysed every slide, and realised it's to do with human sacrifice, worship to Osiris, and her being the female goddess, because she flies in the end, yeah? She flies off in the end. Who is it from? Katy Perry. Yes, Katy Perry, yeah. Causing the children's basket farm, and I speed it up a bit. And it says here, now this is the sad thing about me, when I read this section about the children of Israel, Solomon built temples to Ashtoreth, the Shemosh, and the Milcom.
Just wanted to add something about the media, including the games. When I was younger, I used to, play computer games and stuff. I remember a game that's been around a long time, which everybody knows, is Mortal Kombat. And it was quite interesting.
Yeah.
And even just across a lot of these games, all of these gods are characters in these kind of games. I remember there was a character called Molech was in there, Ashtaroth, like whether all these different, you know, fighting games and things like that, they tend to use these gods as names of their characters.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Thank you. So we're coming to something else. Phoenix or Phoenix. And I'm bombarding you, but I want to get something here. Anyone watch X-Men? X-Men. This particular being is a big part of X-Men. It's a goddess that never dies. Yes, sir. A plane? No, it's Phoenix is named after the Phoenix. Yeah.
Oh, Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
Because that's where they're from, that part of Arizona.
Now the issue is, the place doesn't name itself. Someone names it.
Yeah.
So, like in America, there's a place called Memphis. Now, the name Memphis is actually a city in Egypt first. Right? So, you have your hand up?
That word, Phoenix.
Yes.
Like the school and they changed the name to
They changed the name to Phoenix?
Yes.
Interesting. All right. So, the issue we've got is that when we see things like this, symbolism like this, most of us don't pay attention because it's just a fiery flaming bird, right? But when you start looking into what's behind it, you start thinking a bit more. Why are we using this? The phoenix is an ancient Greek or Chinese mythological fiery bird that can be found in all the mythologies around the world. Now, I had a picture that had it fly across the screen. I wasn't going to do it today. Mommy's saying, no, he hasn't used that picture. I wasn't too sure if the kids were going to be in, so I didn't want to scare them out of them. Anyone remember this picture? Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, X-Men, Jean Grey, killing everybody by thought. Yeah? Of course you remember. Don't say anything to the youngsters. I know. Now, I'm quickly rushing in because I'm realizing of time. I don't want to keep you too long. But you see this one? Hunger Games. The background behind Katniss. Phoenix. There you go. That's part of the trailer. I managed to snap it as it was going through because I watch YouTube sometimes. I do watch YouTube. I look at the clips. Whenever I hear the youngsters in my church go crazy about something, I pretend I don't hear, and I go home and I look it up. That's how I know. Now, again, what's that got to do with anything? What's that symbol? You saying who? Could be right. Lightning bolt is a symbol of who? Zeus. You must remember that. Yeah? As we look at some of the various comic characters who are coming out. There's a one coming out called Shazam! New comic on his chest, by the way. Who else do you see that on his chest? The Flash. Exactly. He runs faster than a speeding bullet, doesn't he? This is another director. He is an interesting director because he directs what? He directs music videos. Have you seen Jay-Z's, Beyonce, Aerosmith, Lady Gaga, and Destiny Child's videos? Have you seen them? All kind of demonic. Of course you haven't seen them. I know you haven't seen them. The mommy daddy's not here, yeah. But the interesting you've got, he actually directed the film I Am Legend starring Will Smith. What was it about?
Zombie-like people.
Zombie.
And he was like
the only guy left on the planet. And they were zombies. And the zombies were a vampire type.
They come out at night.
And they come out at night. And they'll kill you, suck your blood, and you become like one of them. I'm bringing this all up because I want you to recognize what they say. And there's this new Lionsgate film studios. Very interesting. I'm going to skip through it because there's a lot to go through, because I wanted to get to here. Up to date for my young people. Superhero films. Dun, dun, dun. Who's who? Now, if you were to ask a question in the Bible, who would Iron Man be? Who? Tony Stark. We know it's Tony Stark, but who in the Bible? Who would Iron Man be? Who would Thor be? Who would Captain America be? Who would be the Hulk?
Samson.
Samson, you sure?
Samson would be Hulk.
You sure?
Don't know.
Yes, sir.
I would be, would you be a druid or?
No, this one, there's a direct, everything is directly transferred from the Bible.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry? It's okay, I'm not going to keep us guessing. Close the picture, now. Old time favorites. Dun, dun, dun. Strong guy, can fly. Odin. In Norse mythology, Thor is a hammer-wielding, sorry, what's it called again? Associated with thunder, lightning storms, oak trees, strength, and protection of mankind is also Halloween, healing, and fertility. Ooh, he's a very powerful guy. Sounds a bit like Jesus, isn't it? Right, who is he really? An Assyrian deity mentioned in 2 Kings 5, he is called Rimmon. In the Assyrian, the thunder god. Rimmon, the thunder god. So Thor is actually the thunder god of the Assyrians from 2 Kings 2, so 2 Kings 5:18. Amazing. When I first found that one out, I was like, wow, amazing. Now, that's one. You'll find that for every superhero, they actually link to one of the gods of the old world. Now, next one. Dun, dun, dun. Who's that? That's Thor. No, it's not Thor. That's Thor. That is Thor. That's what he was depicted as originally. And then Stan Lee, he's passed away a few weeks ago, put some clothes on him, make him look good. And put a nice blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy in some clothes with a fake hammer, and he looks really good with special effects, yeah? But if you notice, I saw Satan fall from heaven like lightning. Ooh. Luke chapter 10, verses 18. So, who is he really? Satan in disguise. Something you've got to be very careful of when you're watching these films. What else do we have? And Naaman, when he was about to go into the house of Rimmon, he asked for forgiveness because he just accepted the Lord and Savior as his God, but he had to take the king in because the king was a bit feeble. And he asked for forgiveness. And he says, forgive me when I go into the house of Rimmon to worship there and lean up on my hand. I will bow myself in the house, but when I bow myself down in the house of Rimmon, the Lord pardoned thy servant for this thing. Because he knew it was wrong. Right. She's harmless, isn't she? This one. Can't find nothing on her. Now, Black Widow was created by Stan Lee. She's named after the deadly spider due to her effectiveness in killing. What does commandment number 7 says I shall not do? What's number 6? I shall not kill. So we're going to watch this woman running around killing people and enjoying it. Right? True or false? She's a really skilled executioner. She's a spy, thief, assassin, and uses her feminine charm to deceive and allow her to achieve her objectives. Let no man deceive thee. These are very biblical, you know. She may sound like the very easy one, but when you start looking behind the scenes of what her character is, she isn't. No superpowers, but everything that we shouldn't be is there. Captain America is easy in me. No one in me. Nah, you can't find anyone, can you? Or can we? Introduced in March 1941, he's got 3 concentric circles and a pentagram on it, which is a sign of witchcraft, right? And he also has the wings of the deity Nike, the god of speed and wing, on his forehead. So it's 100%. They're just looking at him from the outside. Now let's see who does he refer to in scripture. Ye took up the tabernacle of Molech and the star of your God Rampham. The star god is Rampham. So Captain America is Rampham. In Acts and Amos, it talks to him about Chinu, or Chiun, the star of your God. So whenever we look at these particular characters, they are a specific deity from the Testament. Interesting, isn't it? And we, without realizing it, have allowed ourselves to watch and be entertained by them. Don't get me wrong, I was the biggest Captain America fan when I was a kid. Probably still a big kid inside, really. But I told my wife a while ago, oh, this is easy on this one. Iron Man. Who do you think he is now? Any thinkers? We know this about him from his character, right? The kids know this, isn't it? But you know what? He was one of mine. I liked him as well. I thought he was cool. Billionaire, fast cars, get over the girls. By the way, I didn't have girlfriends at the time, so it was a bit imaginary me. And what you have here, he drinks, he smokes, and is heavily portrayed as an ultra cool, extremely fast cars, and large yachts, jets, planes. He had it all. But I said for the ultimate Iron Man, look at Daniel 2 and 3. Remember the dream of the Nebuchadnezzar. It was a warning. But the Iron Man they give you is not a warning. It's a glorified, self-opinionated, egotistical individual. The name of Tony Stark. I don't look into his name actually. And by the way, the music for Iron Man was written by these guys, AC/DC. And if you notice what they've got there, God the Devil, and the theme tune was called Highway to Hell. You can't remember the track, can you? I don't want to play it. Yeah? There's a lot going on with these comic characters. Okay. He's an easy one. He's a bad guy who was always doing bad things, stealing, killing, murdering, just like Black Widow. But he becomes good without having to repent. So in other words, you can be bad and kill people, and you can get away with it because you do good deeds. So if your good deeds outweigh your bad deeds, you're okay. But Hawkeye also, because Hawkeye is also under Horus Eye. Horus is the hawk eye. I'm going to quickly move because I'm the help. Easy one for the kids. Who's help again? Samson? Did Samson ever lose his mind and not know where he was or who he was? No. Get extremely big and get strong. No. Who did that in the Bible? King. He didn't get big and strong. He just went. Sorry, let's go back a bit. We haven't done this one yet. In the Bible, which character was able to break chains, smash things apart when he was possessed by a demon?
The demon.
Demoniac. So Hulk is actually a demoniac in disguise. Because remember, when Hulk becomes strong, he doesn't know that he's Bruce Banner. He hates Banner, right? And when Banner becomes himself, he hates the Hulk. But that's not like you, like a schizophrenic, isn't it? Right. So we've got a schizophrenic character. Now, I thought I'd bring this one in because you never heard of him. Indian superhero. He started to get really adventurous because he wanted to make money in the East. And India has got 1.2 billion people. Right? So if I can get a superhero in India and tap that market, I can be rich, right? 1.2 billion to choose from. So they made up this new guy. But guess what his name is? Yeah, that's Sandy, yeah. And if you notice, they gave him a different spelling because I thought it was kind of cute actually. He said Krishna is a Hindu deity worshipped over 1.6 billion Hindus as a reincarnation of the god Vishnu. So when you look at the comic heroes, we are really sort of hand in, aren't we? We can't You can't really watch it, can you? If you're really serious. But I must admit, doesn't look cool like that, does it? But around his head, he has all these snakes and serpents, and that's Vishnu there himself, and he's a Lord Vishnu, and there's Lord Ganesh. We're not going to go into all that at the moment. Now, the very interesting thing about this Krishna, yeah, is the blue guy, right? And his father, Vasudeva, has a trident. Krishna's father has a trident. Which character in Greek mythology has a trident?
Neptune.
Who? Poseidon. And there's also Zeus, yeah?
Neptune.
Who?
Is it Neptune also? As
Neptune as well, from the Little Mermaid. So, when you tie them all in, this particular, you're not saying it's worse than the others, but you've got so many things why you shouldn't go down that path. Because that's what they do. It's all about what?
Sun worship.
Sun worship. If you watch the Hindus, the sun, one thing I'll say for them though, they are very dedicated. I saw a guy come to work with the finger mark and the dot in his head, and I'm looking at this guy. And my other friend, who wants to be Buddhist, says, "Don't do that." I goes, "Why not?" He goes, "Because he'd be uncomfortable. Because if he didn't want to be looked at, he wouldn't be walking with somebody's face." But I didn't ask him why he did it anyway. Came for the temple. Now, none of us do that anymore, do we? Because those screens are so big they can fill the wall, so you don't have to go that close. It's true, isn't it? But, harmless one here. Lion King. Nobody will ever doubt the Lion King being harmless.
When you think about the context that it's in, it's kind of obvious.
But who is this? That's his voodoo guide. And the other thing about Lion King, his dead father comes back and gives him guidance. What cartoon is this one? Simpsons. What is a little boy doing with Viagra pills? What's Viagra? Ask your dad. But no, this is actually programming children for what? For what? Sexual activity. The bigger ones know what it is. I know they know what it is. Opening credits for Simpson. Right? That looks very straightforward, isn't it? The other one isn't there. I don't know why it isn't there. I had one that says, "Thou shalt not say hail Satan." And that one didn't come up for some reason. It's written. Oh, it says it does say it there. It does say that, actually. The Pledge of Allegiance does not end with hail Satan. See it? Now, would you pick that up when it's flashing across the screen? What are our children being programmed to do? Hail Satan. Interesting, isn't it?
Also, you notice the way they portray Christians in The Simpsons.
Yes.
Like the next door neighbor.
Yes. A bit like us actually, singing in the car and everything. We do that. But not like the Simpsons. Oh, Little Mermaid. Now, you guys can go to sleep now, but it's not for you. But the girls, Little Mermaid, is that what she really looks like in Greek and Roman mythology? She is meant to be this sea goddess, yeah? But they make her into a cartoon, they give her a nice spin, and they make her daddy look so cool. And there's her daddy, Poseidon, see? The same one that we had from Vishnu's father, Krishna's father. But Poseidon is another name for who? Zeus, Neptune, you're correct, yeah? So these are different so-called gods. Thou shalt have no other God before me. We talked about him earlier, but we didn't talk about him, we talked about Flash, didn't we? He's meant to be the evil Flash, but what's he got on his chest again? Lightning bolts. And look at his eyes. Nice colour, aren't they? Red. I know, you got to think about, oh yeah, this is the one I'm talking about. Shazam and the Flash. What did they have on their chest? Lightning bolts. Satan. Get back to that because I thought I'd bring it back in again, yeah? Now, and I mentioned this, that I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. I'm bringing this all out because now we're getting into the serious stuff, music. Beyonce we know about because that was a ring, that was on her ring. There. You see it? The ring of the deity Baphomet. I forgot to link the videos to this. I've got all the videos that tells you what they say and what they become. She's called Sasha Fierce, and she's saying that Sasha Fierce is her alter ego. Does that mean having an alter ego? Like having another person living inside of you. She's telling you really that she's being demon possessed. We saw a video which I didn't want to show because Abigail and Mike have seen it, where she's on stage and her neck gets big, and the demon enters into her. Her eyes changes, and then she starts. I didn't think that was the right one to show in the sample story. She says here, when I see videos of myself on stage or TV, I'm like, who is that girl? That's not me. I wouldn't dare do that. I wouldn't like Sasha if I meet her off stage. She's talking about herself.
Incredible hope.
And it says here, cover story, a woman possessed. And it says, Beyonce is gripped by a spirit so powerful, it even names itself Sasha. Yeah? Did anyone see this?
No.
2014? She did this thing, and I actually had to watch this video because I had to capture this. You see that? What does that remind you of?
Goddess Vishnu.
The goddess. You sure?
The one with all the hands.
Kali.
Yeah. That one.
When they do things on videos, when you see the special effects, it's not by accident. Everything, remember the guy at the very beginning says, symbolism is all means to give specific information to control the mind. Just paraphrasing. Here she is walking through the fire. None of this was done by accident. It's all the same performance. So that's a phoenix type thing, and you shouldn't cause your children to pass through the fire. And then she does the Ocean Eye of Horus in the triangle, yeah? And who does it as well?
This guy.
Warren Buffett. Anyone knows who Warren Buffett is? He's probably the second or third richest man on the planet, and he's Jay-Z's best friend, by the way. Did you know that? Him and Jay-Z hang out together. What do they got in common? They've got the same thing in common. Devil worship. Now I'm going to try and see if I can slow it down. She talks about herself as diva. Now when you look at the word diva, it's actually a term, goddess, or a god. So when she walks on stage, when these people say this, I'm a diva, what are they telling you?
I'm a
They
goddess.
say to you, I'm a goddess.
Worship me.
They know what they're saying to you. Now, dark, innit? He is coming out of an Egyptian tomb with two women looking like the goddess Hathor. You see the horns on the head? You seen it? And he's in the middle. Can you see it? The two horns come out of the heads there. He's wearing that specific thing and he's wearing this thing around his head. He's meant to be coming out the tomb like the main guy, Osiris. He's meant to be reborn. Yeah? So when people say they're like Kanye West's music, I'm like, guys, you don't know what you're doing. He's the moon deity. Yeah? Here he is again. With his Baphomet stuff, him and Jay-Z rapping together. Yeah? Now, let's move on to the politicians. You think that they're clear, yeah? But let me go back a bit, son. Who is this? No, this is the Paul. This is John Paul II. But who is this? This was the actual Christian Pat Buchanan, the Christian right in America. Remember when they say that the Protestant movement will shake its hands with the papacy before the end. This happened 4 years ago. I'm bringing I'm more serious now because it's very, very. Now, this guy here, we don't know who he is, don't we? Mel Gibson. He's been given an honorary degree by a Jesuit university for doing what film?
Passion of the Christ.
Yes. Passion of the Christ. And lots of Seventh-day Adventist pastors bought tickets for the people to go and watch the Passion of the Christ. Some of us went to watch the Passion of the Christ because we were advised to.
It was also shown at churches as well.
Now, if you understand this movie, this is a Jesuit movie through and through. There's nothing about this movie that highlights and lifts up Jesus as Savior. But when he got that honorary degree for doing that film, I went, hang on a minute. He's done a really good job for the papacy. I like this. This is, I like the manner the muse, first of all, inspires men herself because they are inspired and to act as a what? Sorry?
Inspired.
They are simply inspired to utter that which the muse impels them, for not by art or knowledge do you say, but by possession. Ooh. So think about acting. We're moving closer to what I call a very strong edge. And this is Socrates. And anyone would know about that, he would know.
How long ago did Socrates live? Not recent.
No. Socrates was about 2,300 years ago, approximately.
And then Ellen White said we shouldn't go to theatre a few decades ago.
That's right. And we all go crazy. Now, we're looking at film stars and their worship. Now, we're mixing it up a bit because it says here, Gwyneth Paltrow of Iron Man was on the rocks with Chris Martin, her husband, over the practice of the Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism. So when we see the actors, they're doing other things. Not only are they muses, they're being possessed by demons, but they're doing other things. Sorry. This is a quick ending. I know I'm going on. One sign for Satan is done by who? You never see it when he's doing it. The spider web? You see it? Oh. There's something more there. Careful. Jack Black. Very popular actor. King Kong, Gulliver. He is the voice for Kung Fu Panda. And a few other films. And he actually says he sold his soul to the devil to win his spouse. To get rich. Those of us who are slightly older would recognize Bob Shiz. Yeah? And I'll move it on quickly because she's half naked. Rihanna, we all know Rihanna. She's gone. She's a countryman, but hey, she's gone. Hillary Clinton. We're at the end now. I'm just going to quickly show you what is going on. So if you notice, there's a link between politicians, music stars, actors, and sports stars. Oh. Benny Hinn. Kenneth Copeland. These are the big hitters in US in politics because they're the ones that backed Donald Trump to put him in power. But also, they backing him means that he must do what they are after. Church and state together.
I was going to say, because he was there when that guy Tony Palmer came saying that the protest
is now over.
And he came off when they, I people were going to pray for the Pope and all that, and then he started speaking in tongues while he was
That's
praying
right.
and also.
That's right. George Bush. Let's keep going. Pope Benedict the 16th. And he looks like one of them Star Wars characters, really. You know? Looks so really bad. I know, he really does look bad. Barack Obama. Sorry, guys. I'm very sorry. But I have to show you the truth. Yeah? Pope Francis. What's he doing? What's Pope Francis doing? Just to make sure you got it the first time. But the first time was an accident, so just to make sure you got it. Yeah? Now, this is Pope Francis before he became Pope Francis. He has got a very interesting sign. I thought I'd put it there. This is a sign for the wolves on high. It's the Masonic hidden hand. That's whenever they're in public and they try to show a secret sign, that's what they do. This guy's Albert Pike. He wrote the book called Morals and Dogma. And he's doing the same thing, right? There you go, hidden hand. The Jesuits are a military religious order of the Roman Catholic Church. Are they ready? So we're bringing it closer to home now. And the secret handshake. I did this handshake once at work to a guy and he was a Freemason. It wasn't the right thing to do, I know. But I wanted to get a reaction. Do you know what the guy said to me? Which order are you in? Da, 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 da. Come to my... I'm like, oh, back there. I said, not the same order you're in.
How did you know it?
That's another time. That's off screen. And you'll see the same handshake going around. Here, here. There's the way you're going to do your hand as well. Here. So who was that? Tony Blair, right? Yeah? And you have it here, but you can't see it here. Now, we're moving into a different area now. We're moving into Catholics, the Charismatic Alliance. Who is this?
Facebook.
Do you know what he did? Zuckerberg.
Oh, Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg. He met Pope Francis. You know what he was doing with Pope Francis? He was making a pledge. Because every IT company in the world met with Pope Francis in January 2017 for a way to world peace. I have a feeling there's more to get information. Who's using their platforms? This was an actual poster for a meet. A giant leap towards one world religion. We're virtually there, guys. This is 2016 and 2018. We're on the cusp. I'm not sure about you, but can't be that. This is the same kind of Copeland. He's saying some things up here about coming together with the Catholics. But I'll put this great controversial quote. God's word has given warning of the impending danger. Let this be unheeded, and the Protestant world will learn what the purposes of Rome really are. Only when it is too late to escape the snare. She is silently growing into power. Her doctrines are exerting their influence in legislative halls, in the churches, and in the hearts of men. She is piling up her lofty and massive structures in the secret recesses of which her former persecutions will be repeated. Stealthily and unsuspectedly, she is strengthening her forces to further their own end, when the time shall come for her to strike. Great Controversy, page 582. Now, this is actually not me. This is actually a new one world religion promoted by Kenneth Copeland and Pope Francis. It's there. It's already here. This is last year, right? So we're there. Are we ready for this?
From what sense?
You said no. From what sense?
Yeah, because from what how we've been raised in our education, for the things we've watched, we're ready. But from a biblical sense, Christ's coming, we're not quite there.
Okay. I don't feel I'm ready. I don't feel I'm ready. And you might say, but Don, you have all this information. Information ain't going to save me. It's my dedication to God and how I live my life is going to save me. Now, when you go through this stuff, I mean, the stuff he's gone through, yeah? Let me put it this way. In October 2017, Kenneth Copeland held an ecumenical meeting in Kansas City, Missouri, with Pope Francis watching by video and his representatives person in this video claims to be God's anointed prophet and claims to have the power of God to bring down fire and to burn stubble, presenting a veiled threat to all the churches who do not get in step. Wow. I'm holding it here because it's 5 to 5, yeah? There's a lot, isn't there? I know I've bombarded you, beaten you up, made you laugh somewhere across the line, but my issue is this, and sometimes my wife warns me about it. She says, Don, you can't give everyone everything at the same time. Where you feel, you're not the time, man. Both in presenting, but also in where we are in time. This is what happened early this year. You get that? All these are big hitters. Totally fine with me now he's dead. But the strange thing that he said that made me think, made me shake in my boots. He said he called himself a forerunner. John the Baptist died before Jesus Christ fulfilled his ministry. You get that? He is dead. What does that mean? The Pope has to fulfill history. And I've got a long list of pastors who've joined. I have not used anyone from our church in this one. I'm just going to flip through it. This is the latest one that was up this year. All these F2F, I don't know what it means. It's held in September this year. We've got to be careful because a lot of our people are watching these things and joining them. There's so many ecumenical people within our churches. Welcome to the churches. Please don't look too closely. You don't want to see who's there? No.
I'd just like to add something as well.
Right.
Yeah, one thing I remember was there was a particular Christian music artist, I think his name was Chris Tomlin. He writes a song, How Great Is Our God. And I remember seeing online, basically some Baptists or something who were complaining about his music and how it's the devil's music coming to the churches and how literally, he's a rock and roll artist at heart. And what was quite disturbing was a statement, I think that was from him, about how the purpose of his music, how he writes it, is he wants to put all the different Christian denominations on the same page. So he doesn't care whether they take his music and make it more palatable for their congregations. As long as they're all singing the same songs together, the natural divisions, that basically they'll all be brought to have sympathy for one another. And music is important, it's quite dangerous. The issue of even a lot of what we call contemporary Christian music, because it's about taking away those differences between us and the other churches, and then we have sympathy for their doctrines, their style of worship, so then it becomes quite easy to transition. Like one last example I can give was somebody I know from my church went to a Seventh-day Pentecostal church one time just to see what it's like. And her report back was, it wasn't any different from our church. So it's just things to think about. We have to be mindful that everything that's Christian we should take in and listen to.
That's right. Now I'm going to finish with this because I've got more, but I'll finish here because of time.
Oh, we got till
The one
6.
thing- Sorry?
We're here till 6.
We will see.
So you got time for question and answer.
Okay. One thing I wanted to highlight is this. I have said this to my children and to my church and to my wife. I will not sing those ecumenical ditties. They may not sound bad, but I will not do it because in my heart, there's almost as though someone is trying to change how I think. And I do not like those songs. They may not have drums in them. You may play them without drums. You may play them with harps or violins. I don't care. I'm not singing them. How great is our God? The first time I heard that song, I'll tell you how I heard it. It was 1994. And I'm going back a bit again. I was in Acton. There was Kensington Temple. North Acton, just outside North Acton Station. I went there because I was told it was a Christian meeting. I walked into the hall and the people were like zombies. Right. I walked from the back to the front and I could have taken all the handbags and purses I wanted because they were hypnotized. And I wasn't a Christian at that time. And something told me this is not Christian. So when I came to the church, I made it my foremost effort not to have anything to do with the ecumenical music. You know, it may sound really bad. It's my choice. It doesn't have to be yours, but I am convinced this is not for us. Remember, Daniel chapter 3. Well, how did Nebuchadnezzar get everyone around the plain of Judah, around this golden statue? When Protestants shall stretch her hand across the gulf to clasp the hand of the Roman power, when she shall reach over the abyss to clasp the hands of spiritualism, when under the influence of this threefold union, our country shall repudiate every principle of its constitution as a Protestant and Republican government, and shall make provision for the propagation of papal false and delusions, then we may know that the time has come for the marvelous working of Satan and at the end is near. Excuse me, we've gone past that now. We've gone past that. What else are we waiting for? And I teach it slightly. We really do have to stop them. But I thought I'd play some more up there. Pope Francis says the Quran and the Holy Bible are the same. Anyone here read the Quran? Yeah.
I've read this.
I'm going to have to stop. I'm stopping. Because I know you're tired. And I'll do a Bible study for 4 hours at home. I can go all day with the Bible. You put the Bible in front of me, I'm not going to stop talking. But one thing I'll say to you, I've just shared a little bit of what I've understood. And believe you me, there's much more. There's so much more that it will take me weeks and months to go through. But I'm giving you little snippets of what I've understood and what I'm trying to share, because I believe that we are in danger of not following the pattern that God has laid out before us. Young ones, I'm happy that you're here. Half the stuff you don't probably understand. And if you've got any questions, ask me now. Because I know what happens when you wait till later. You go, oh, I wish I'd asked that question. Yeah? So please, you can ask me a question. Any questions?
At school, in drama, we've got like this new block and like they made it all dark.
New block. Is it black?
No, like in the drama room, it's like all black and there's like lights on the top and stuff. And then our teacher always gets us to stare at the wall and he says, just relax. So I don't know what he's doing.
Don't do it. Don't close your eyes, don't stare at the wall. Do anything else. Seriously.
That's a form of hypnosis stroke meditation. You don't do that because you're emptying your mind. You don't want to empty your mind, because the moment you empty your mind, something enters into your mind. These are things that parents, please talk to your children, because this is a serious matter. There are things happening in schools. I mean, we were told about Hinduism and yoga classes and other things happening. Yeah? But now they're making it mandatory for 6 and 7-year-olds. Yeah?
Because, not crossing, sorry, my daughter came home and said to me that they're doing yoga at school. So I said to her, if next time you're being approached, don't do it. So the teacher asked me the following day, the case said that you were not allowed to do it. I said, yes, they're not allowed to do it. I let them to be excused. Right? So, I mean, as parents, we need to be on top of what actually going on at school. Right? And I may also add, it was, I think, in the late 80s, when the Pope at that time decided that all Christian donations should be seen from one book. That is how the Adventists came up with the second hymnal. right? And I always advise people every day to get hold of the first one, and I did get hold of one to keep it. And I have a list of all the songs from the second hymnal that we actually sing, and it gave him details, the reason why. So we have to be very careful.
When I fall on my knees, till I face the rising sun. I was going to say, one thing I remember was that one of the songwriters that I really like a lot, Franklin E. Belden, he was Ellen White's nephew, and he's almost written half the hymn book almost, like he's written so many songs, but quite a number of his songs have been removed from the original hymn book, including the songs that were very, very Adventist and very pointed. Like, for example, the song about the Sabbath rest, which points out the Sabbath, which talks about the false Sabbath, and it's almost like a Bible study in a sense, and that's been taken out of the hymn book as well.
I think that it's very scary. But as a church, we have to think about what we're going to do. So my commitment next year, I've got 2 roles. I'm doing health and I'm also helping with music. So from a music point of view, I really want to teach the church like these songs, the songs that me and Philip have been learning at home in our family worship, like Holy Day, Jehovah Rest, and I hope that as a church we will be uniting the word a lot more. We'll sing appropriate songs, we'll eat right, and we'll just be holistic. Because I think we have to always strive to kind of move forward.
Mine is a question.
What do you say about Gaither music?
Gaither
music.
Vocal band. Is it talking about the vocal band?
Yeah.
Everything.
The Gaithers have a very mixed style of music. They've got some folk, they've got country and western, and they've got a bit more upbeat music.
They also have an African pastor in their group. Not the band, but the whole group. I can't remember the guest speaker for
Whitney Phipps.
last time. I can't remember.
Whitney Phipps?
Yes.
Is Whitney Phipps Sunday Adventist? Sunday a joke. No, it's actually a joke. I'm actually being serious. He's a pastor. The thing I want to say carefully, and I don't care who says anything, reaching our hands across the gulf to embrace apostate politicism. We're in deep trouble. There's nothing wrong with us witnessing to individuals or working to, and like they said, we can work within the boundaries of our faith with others to promote good Christian values. But once we start stepping outside of that, I would say we're in dangerous ground. When it comes to the music side, I will not touch anyone's music. All I say is we've got guidance for how we should listen to music. It must be sacred, it must be holy, and it should have a certain composition. But I cannot tell anyone what music to listen to, because I know that we all know inside what is right and wrong music. We all know. We like making excuses. I really know. Any other questions? Any other points?
My friend, I've got this kid at school, and whenever he shakes my hand, he always does that thing where he does the middle of my palm thing, like kind of rubs it. Yeah.
He's gay. No. Sorry. I have to behave myself. I don't know. Ask him why he's doing it. Ask him why he's doing it. Back in the day, when a guy wanted to have sex with a girl, that's what he did. Right? So, if he doesn't want to do that, then tell him you're not comfortable with it, and ask him why he's doing it. Just ask him. Ask him why he's doing it. Ask him why he's doing it.
Yes, my face, man.
And the lady next to you. Sir, young sir, lady next to you, sir.
Yeah, I was just saying how thankful I am about these lessons, because you came last time and something very interesting happened later. And what you're saying about these things creeping into our life in a certain manner. I work for the NHS, and recently we were told to go. We went for a conference, and then later on we were asked if we wanted to join a well-being session. And innocently I had the well-being and I was so excited about it. But immediately I went in, this guy says sit in a circle, in a very tight circle. And it rang alarm bells for me. And he was like, pretend you're looking at a map and it's turning round and stuff like that. And I was observing all this. There were about 20 of us. And a lot of people went through the session. And the next thing he was talking about colors, which color is your favorite, and he was sitting us in different groups. And then the next thing, he was reading from a piece of paper, and he was saying, I'm taking you through this journey, and people went through the journey, and at the end of it, he snapped his chin. Everybody just went to sleep. And then he snapped his fingers and he said, come out of it. And then he was saying to people, relate what you've seen in this journey. People were like, oh, I saw a false, it was front of me, there was a lady behind and stuff like that. Fortunately for me, God willing, I was awake and alert because of what I did before. And I managed to observe, but every time I was talking, he was like skipping around me and talking to everybody else except me. But I recalled what you had said about these things. And it's interesting that most of the people don't know about this. And they went into it with blind eyes. So I think these talks are very helpful. If we can allow the Holy Spirit just to warn us when we get into such situations.
Okay, praise the Lord. I'm glad that was my it's not me, it's the wrong time. Anyone else with questions? What to do?
Yeah, one question. Talking about Christmas trees and stuff like that, what we were talking about earlier. My family is quite committed. They are committed Christians. When it comes to Christmas decorations and Christmas trees, they won't listen to a word I say. And the thing is that I haven't spent Christmas with my family for the last 3 years simply because I feel really uncomfortable with the way they do Christmas. And even just recently, I can't remember if Trevor sent me something. Oh no, I sent it to you, didn't I? That thing about the there was some kind of billboard in America that said, "Thank you, Christians, because you've done this, that, and other. Your friends are pagans," or something like that. And I just don't know what to do. And it'll be this year as well. I'm not spending it with them, which is good because our church is doing a shelter for the homeless, so I've got a really good excuse not to be with them. But I'm missing out on my family because they just make me feel really uncomfortable the way they do. They've got the tree up, they've got the light, they've got everything up, and my cousins do it as well. And they're really lovely, God-fearing, committed Christians. I don't know what to do.
You answer me?
I couldn't.
Go ahead, by all means.
I have a question of mine. My only take, you might have a more informed answer than I have, is that do you spend other time other than Christmas with your family?
Not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like dinners, birthdays that you mentioned, birthdays. I don't think I would get a guilt complex over that specific Christmas dinner or Christmas season, as long as you have other bonding times with them. So it's that would be my take on that. I don't know if you have anything else to add to that.
You overly so go out of your way to do things that they weren't expected to do, but doesn't compromise the principle. Because that way they will see that you genuinely care for them. I mean, a better example of that is, I'll use an example of myself. I don't like funerals. And I don't like to be told what to do things. You know, you will do this or else. Well, that's it for me. As a Bajan, you know what that means, yeah? Bajans are very similar. You tell me to do something, that's it. It's war. My mom and my dad told me I had to go to my uncle's funeral 4 weeks ago. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go. So I just myself. This is a test for you because you're not breaking any commandments. It's just you're going to lose money because if you don't work, you don't get paid. And you're going to be going among people who are your family but may not be as close as you think. I learned a lot through that trip. But because I made that one effort, I found I got closer to certain family members I didn't know. So you may not go at the Christmas period, but try and find other little period of time if you can. And if they may ask you to do something you may think may not be the right thing to do because of your timing, sacrifice some time to do. Because I find that actually helps. And pray about it every time. Pray about it every time. Because the Lord will show you the way.
I do. Are you going to be commenting on that? Yeah, you go ahead because I have a question that is separate from.
The Spirit of Prophecy made it clear that we should seize the opportunity around the Christmas time to witness to individual, family, friends, neighbors. And when you look back at Sister White in her time, that what they did, they provide things for people that were in need of. And not only that, they also like the cars they normally put like certain verses on the card. But now we completely right? So we have to be careful.
Yeah. As long as they respect your understanding stuff.
Okay, moving on. It's just one question, particularly for those of us who have children who are schooled in the Babylonian system, a system that we are entirely bathed in. Ancient Israel was a nation unto itself, and hence they follow a theocratic system. And obviously God got upset when they took on the other. The system of education that is in the world today is not a system of education that we should be following. Ellen White has counsels, a lot of counsels on that. However, that's what the world knows, and that's what we are steeped in. We think we need to have the qualifications in order for them to go to university, for them to be equipped with the necessary certification, degrees, whatever, for them to get work and be successful.
Yeah.
Now, what are your suggestions? I know that you danced around it a couple of times. And I'm aware that you probably have your own philosophies around that. But what advice and suggestion you would give, particularly for those people who think, they can't do it. They're not qualified to do it, they don't have enough resources to do it. In a nutshell, do you have any suggestions?
I'll let my wife answer this one.
That's a question that we get a lot as a homeschooling family. A lot of people say, well, I would do it, but I just can't. I'm not good at it. I'm not qualified. I'm not this and I'm not that. But remember, when God calls you to do something, He qualifies you to do. He equips you. He provides for you. That's the first point. Secondly, you are entrusting your most precious gems to somebody who doesn't love them. Mm-hmm. Who can love your children more than you? And if you're not a lazy person, you will do whatever you need to do to get the best for your children. And I honestly believe that that's the firm answer. That you give them to the Babylonians who really don't have any love. It's a job for the teachers, especially there was a time when teachers loved teaching and they taught because they just wanted to impart the education to others. Now it's not it's a job. And there's so much pressure on teachers that they do what they have to do to survive. And we haven't even started addressing the indoctrination they get from things that you don't. So then you have to then spend time on doing what has been done, in order to have your children with some semblance of, spirituality around them. And I'm not saying that homeschooling automatically makes your children spiritual. I don't believe that. Because at the end of the day, those same children are subjected to all sorts of attacks. In fact, sometimes I feel it's more, because the devil makes them feel like maybe they're missing out on certain things, or they're not part of certain things, and so they're bombarded really. And they grow up and they make choices. And we then have to now look at Eli, and we look at Samuel. Samuel was not held accountable because Samuel did what he knew to be right. Eli closed his mouth and didn't make the corrections that needed to be made, hence he was held accountable. So we need to be wise. We're not saying that by homeschooling are guaranteed. No, we're saying we've done the best possible. Yeah.
No, I agree about the spiritual side and the godly preaching. What about the real issue of finances?
I can deal with that one. Finances is an interesting one because when we first got married, I think we were the poorest couple on the planet. Actually, we weren't the poorest couple that we knew. Most of our friends were earning twice as much as we were, or even 3 times. And we had an old little Peugeot 306. I'm sure Philip remembers the Peugeot 306.
Okay. In my head, I was expecting you to say 306.
Yes. We met Philip when we first had the car, and it was a nice little car. The Lord did miracles with that car. Because as you know, with one wage, my wife was earning more than I was at the time. And it was a hard decision because I can remember coming back from our honeymoon, reading the counsels and listening to various preachers that we were given tapes on, and we made the decision we were going to homeschool. And we knew it was going to be a sacrifice. I can remember the Lord providing when I was in London, when the needles were red. 30 miles to go, but we lived 55 miles out of London. I got that car to the house. There were times when I ran out of petrol. There were times when the car broke down, but the Lord always provided. There were times when I got sick and I was off work for 6 months. The Lord provided money for us. Someone gave us £5,000. Never asked him for it. The Lord provided. He said he will never see his people forsaken or the righteous do what? Begging bread. I can see, just on that one side alone, I could be here for another 2 hours. We've been through some ups and downs, but the Lord placed upon my heart that this is what we have to do. And if I could swap places with my wife, I would do it. My wife at the time, she said, nope, And then the Lord blessed my work, and it increased. And then wherever I worked, for some reason, the Lord would allow me to be promoted and get wages increased. And then I went to self-employed. And since I became self-employed, I have not been out of work at all. And it is not a bed of roses. But what we're doing, we're living within our means. And I've got to tell us something, we've got to learn to live within our means. We were talking the other day about making a budget and budgeting stuff. And I think we've lost the habit of that, And even now we were talking recently about moving. The Lord placed upon our hearts that we had to move. We've been praying. And I came in from work. This is off the press. Yesterday. What did I say to you? Lord. Now you're going to say you're mad because you want to go. You know what? I'm asking the Lord to lead. I haven't got the answers. He's led us this far, and I know the pinch when it comes to finances, but I want us to have that faith. We're going to step out in faith, you know. Can't just be talk, and not faith. It's something that I really want us to really enjoy.
And it's the souls of our children. The soul, what cost would they put on the soul of the
I'm having the consequences of my eldest son. That's another story altogether, isn't it?
The thing I'd like to add to that, on top of the finances, it's practicing what God, the recommendation that God gave to us about systematic benevolence, the tithing and the offering. How faithful are we in our tithing? Because I'm talking from personal experience. We're homeschooling now. It's one income. It's always been one income, but it's been a decision and that choice. And so we made a decision that we looked at things real. What's the point in having a television when we're not going to be there? I'm not there to watch it. There's internet. You can get whatever you need on the internet. You already pay for that. The guys at work are telling me about how much they got Netflix, they got Amazon Prime, they got this Prime, that Prime, and all the Google things that you can talk to, and it brings up this and that. That's a massive expense. But we need to look at things and say, right, Christ's coming is very soon. It's imminent. We've got children to raise up properly. We've got a household to. God said that he liked Abraham because Abraham commanded his household after him. How can we command our children after us if we're not there to command them? They're being commanded by somebody else. We have to make the sacrifices. We've got to look at what God is putting. I think God is amazing because he knows that we're so physically minded. He's given us physical description of what is in heaven. So we don't have to worry about the sacrifices that we have to make with the trinkets that we have. We can put aside the fashion, the keeping up with the Joneses, all these things. And we need to put things into perspective. So I think it starts with our faithfulness to God in our tithing and offering. If we don't start being faithful and stop robbing God of what is due to him and putting things in, we're doing like what Uzzah did. Uzzah said, you know what, I see the ark is about to fall. I'm going to put my hand forth and touch it. Our business is not what goes on in the conference to a certain extent. God says, return to me faithful, not dependent on what the conference people are doing. Because he talked about the lady that came and gave the 2 mites. He didn't tell her about the Pharisees. He didn't say, no, you fool. Why did you put your hard-earned money in for these people that are going to crucify me? He didn't. He commended her. We got to pull up our socks. Again, tithing and offering, think of it in the bigger picture. Time of trouble is about to come upon us. Sunday, what's the thing? No buying and selling. All these things that years ago they've happened. And now we're here, 2018, and we're not being faithful in our tithing and offering. How are we going to trust God? How are we going to have the experience in faith in God to know that, you know what, God took me through this experience when I had nothing? What story do you have to tell about how God delivered you? And if you do have a story, then why are you being stingy and robbing from God when God has proven to you how true he can be? He delivered Israel from Egypt. They were slaves. They came out with the wealth of Egypt. So what more can God do for us when we're about to enter the promised land? And he knows, because of our ignorance, we've made mistakes and we've not followed the blueprint. We're not living and working as we should do. How much more is he prepared to work with us? That's all I add.
When we got married, soon after that, when I had Trevor, my husband said to pack up the job. I had a fine job, I'd be getting very good pension now. But he said to stay home and look after them, which I did my very best with them. But, you know, many times, different times, God, when we said, you know, what we're going to do now, because we see, you know, our needs. And he says, my husband said, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. And I know times that God knows it before we even, you know, the door open. And it goes through life. The door always open. Sometimes we don't even ask him. And the door open and take us right through.
Anyone else?
I just wanted to say how faithful God is. I've been a lone parent for a long time, and I brought up 2 kids on their now adults. But there was a time when I had to send them to school, boarding school. I just want to encourage and just warn parents how dangerous it is to compromise on your children's education. I sent them to Catholic schools because I thought they had the best education. But it caused so much confusion, so much damage to their well-being. Because whilst they were going to SDA, to Seventh Day, they had different teachings. And they would come and argue with me to say, but in school we're learning this. This is what Catholics are teaching us. And you are trying to teach us something. And it's difficult to justify to a kid to say, no, I'm just sending you so that you get good grades. It's their spirituality, it's their spiritual life that is being affected. Eventually, I had to move them away from the Catholic schools. And I know SDA schools are very expensive, but I took that sacrifice. And they went to Seventh-day Adventist schools. And there was so much change. It was an extreme change. And they've upheld those beliefs that they were taught in Adventist schools up until now. They are the ones to actually direct me sometimes when I go astray, because they will refer me to the Bible, to the spirit of prophecy. So sometimes we do things out of ignorance to say, oh, it's all about grades, about them going to a better school. But we overlook the result, the overall result about how they are affected spiritually. So I would like to urge people to think before we put children, are we doing it for education, or are we doing it to help them in their future life, in their spirituality? Or does it just end with them getting good grades going to uni? Is it going to mold them as Christians, or it just gives them that education that everybody needs? And during that time when they were going to school, that's another test, because there was a year I didn't have any fees. It was a job with my kids. We would sit down every morning before they go, and I say, did the headmaster come to your class today? No, he didn't. Let's pray. Every day was a prayerful day, and the whole year they didn't go to school. They went to school without fees. At the end of the year, God just opened his blessings, and I got a check for a big amount of money. I was able to pay off the outstanding fees, and they got the best results, and I always thank God for that. It's a miracle that is always remained with me to say, how did God do it? But he's God, he's able. There's nothing impossible with God.
Thank you, sister. Anyone else for any thoughts? Because I'm very much aware of the time. I know you said you got one of the things I wanted to say as we wrap up is I have got audiences, we have got audiences together, but as long as we rely upon God, He will give us the answers. I mean, we are doing our best in school. We've been blessed because the Lord has had mercy upon a person like me. I'm giving you a little bit of my testimony, so you have a taste of what I've been through, but there's some stuff I just can't tell you. To me, it's between me, myself, and God, because I know when the brother said earlier, chief of sinners do I be, I said, you better get down because that's me. Because for me, I know the kind of life I live, the kind of things I do. And I know that the Lord has had mercy upon me. So we all can make the decisions to follow God, even though it's hard. And I do understand the issues. I do understand the struggles, because we're all in this together. The problem we have is that sometimes we don't look at it from that point of view. To answer one of the questions of the lady here about homeschooling or teaching the children from school, there is enough people to actually have educators in the school. The church, I say. The church is a school. there's enough people. I had one guy said it, but I never told my wife about this. They said if we were willing to educate a certain amount of children full time, we would have been given money to school other people's children. Now my wife doesn't like that idea. She believes that everyone should be doing it themselves. But I believe there's enough people here that can band together and help. We've done more than I see other churches do. I'm telling you that now. For the fact that I've seen that, you can do much more than you think. I believe you can have your own church school. Personally. The good is big enough. Pray about it. There's someone in here who can teach. There's at least people in here who can teach. I'm not talking about my wife. At least in can teach. And I know if you put your minds and hearts to it, you could have your children being taught in a church school. I know that. But the thing is, do you have that vision? Do you want that vision? Because how many children have you got around the same age? It's quite a few. Watch that. I've been watching it since we're coming, and I thought, interesting. But I believe that you guys can do so much more. And I'm not gonna come, and I'm not bigging you up, but for the group that you have here getting your own church, you've done better than bigger churches in there. I don't know what you've got, but you've got something. And I'm looking at your youth, and you've got a maximum of 4 years. A maximum. Not minimum, maximum of 4. Minimum can be 2.5. Keep these children aside. Take that 2.5 years you've got for the older ones, and the 4 years for the younger ones, and nurture them. Because I wished at one stage, when my son came to live with us, remember, we considered homeschooling him. And what did you say? You don't think you would adapt to it. I really wanted you to, but I know you had a lot on your plate. I'm not blaming you. But the issue is, he's out of the church. He got baptized, and he is. What do I say? Well, he's breaking my heart. And I don't want you to be at that place. When you see your son, your daughter, doing things you don't want to do, and you're crying inside, your spirit's crying. And you're saying, I wish. Well, then I wish. Please do it now, whatever you can. And I know that I know there's struggles. I know that Satan has put blocks in front of your eyes, or he's put barriers wherever we've got. I'm not saying we've got the correct pattern. We are still learning. We're learning on a daily basis what we should do. We lean on God's hands. And I want you to basically take pleasure in knowing that I've been to quite a few churches, and must admit, I'm surprised at what you've accomplished in different church. And I believe it's going to prosper. You have to go back to the prayer. Amen. Let us pray, and we'll finish. Our Father and our God, we thank you for this evening. The time has flown by. We spent some very carefully thoughtful hours looking at issues and things that have come up in the media, but also we're practicing and how we look at things. Father, I share some of my life stories with my brethren. I wish I had time to spend outside of the Sabbath hours with these brethren. Maybe you can arrange it for us, Lord, that we can surrender ourselves and become one in unity, not just in the Sabbath day, but during the rest of the week, Lord. Spend a couple of days here and there. I pray, Father, you can guide us going forward from this moment. The end is nigh. And as Jeremiah said, the summer is ended, the harvest is past. But Father, we want to be saved. So Father, open our ears that we will hear, and our hearts convert us from inside out. Prepare us for your soon coming, and give us the strength of heart and character that we can prepare others. Let us not be selfish with the message, but let us take it to the world. Every small corner that we are, let us show it in Jesus' name. And Lord, as we leave this place, give us safe traveling mercies, guide us so that we will get back to our places safely. Those who are not in this country and those who are other places, we ask you to guide them and bring them back to this country safely as well. But also that you guide these children, these small little souls. May they be full purposes for you as well today. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Please help